Hey everyone, so we're going to be doing highlights and shadows today and then talking a little bit about skin prep and how to take care of your skin. So right now I have just blank canvas, nothing on. So I used a little bit of astringent on my face just to get it a little bit drier, and then I'm going to put a little bit of the skin cream moisturizer on. So this just helps to make your skin a little bit more hydrated, moisturized, all that. It helps the makeup lay better on your skin if you're working on a hydrated canvas, right? So this is like basically primer. So I'm gonna let that dry for a minute and talk to you about your different foundations that should be in your kit. So in the Ben Nye makeup kit, there should be 3 different foundations. There should be a light, a medium, and a dark. So this is my light. It's P42 Ultra Beige. Obviously, it's been used a lot. This is my medium, which is almost out. This is Natural Beige. And then this is my dark, which is L2 Light Beige. Yeah, so ultra, natural, and light. Yeah, depending on which kit you get and what color your skin tone is, you're going to be using probably some slightly different colors, but there should be 3 different shades in there. Also, for what we were doing today, you're going to need your shadow, which is the really dark one, and then your highlight. So my highlight is ultralight and my shadow is character shadow. All right, so I think, yeah, this should be ready to go. So I need a sponge. Give me a second. Applicator sponge. And I am just gonna start with my medium color. So that's this one. Right, yeah. So Natural Beige. I don't know if you can read that. I'm just gonna put it all over. I usually start kind of in the center and work my way out. You don't want to put on too thick of a layer, right? You don't want it to be just caked on. Oh no. I need to take my jewelry out. So a nice thin layer, but you should still get full coverage. So this should be covering any imperfections, acne, scars, all that, and just giving you a nice even layer to work on. I'm just doing a really quick, you can see there's still some lines and stuff, and then down the neck as well. Alright, so this is my schematic for the highlights and shadows. So you can see on there it's pretty subtle. So my research for this was just taking photos of my face in different lighting. So the book talks about looking at your face in highlights and shadows and seeing where those natural shadows fall, and that should help with your creation of your schematic. As a rule, the higher points are going to catch light, the lower points are going to be in shadow. So this means that across your forehead, down the ridge of your nose, cheekbones, chin, and jaw are all going to be highlighted, whereas places like your cheek, under your cheekbones, temples, under the eyebrows, and under the jaw are going to be in shadow. Yeah? So I'm going to start by just kind of roughing in those highlight and shadow spots with the other foundation bases. So I have my darker foundation. So this is the light beige. And I'm going to use that to start indicating where I want those shadows to go. So again, this is going to be very subtle. We'll get a little more specific with these shadows and highlights with the shadow and highlight palette. But yeah, so I'm just going under the cheekbone, in the temple, along the sides of the noses, up under the brow, and then along this jawline underneath here. Yeah. I'll also do a little bit under the lips there. So when you are on stage at any time, you should be doing highlights and shadows. This is just basic stage makeup. This is so that you have contouring on your face and it doesn't get washed out by the intense face lights. This helps also to give your face more expression and to make it easier to read your facial expressions. So yeah, then you have the highlight. So this is ultra beige. Ooh, that's real light. Down the front of the nose, over the cheekbones, across the top of the forehead, above the lips, and then above the jawline here and there. Yeah, so you can kind of see placement before I blend this. So when I blend, I'm gonna flip over to the wider end and just stipple. So that means just bouncing it lightly and blending it that way. You can also do some like quick little things like that, but you don't want to just rub it in. You don't want to lose that placement of the highlight and shadow, right? You want it to still be contouring. So if any of you have done contouring for just day wear street makeup, this is going to be a more extreme version of that, because you're going to be underneath stage lights and seen from 15, 20, 30 feet away. This isn't something that you would need to worry about looking normal or good in person, right? Oh, missed my chin. So we're just really accentuating these features: the nose, jawline, cheekbones, forehead, right? So this is still pretty subtle. Obviously it's less subtle than what I would do for just day wear makeup, but we're going to accentuate it even more now using your highlight and shadow palette. So this is the character shadow, and with this I'm going to use one of my brushes. So we're switching from using the sponges to makeup brushes. So for the under the cheekbones, I'm going to start here kind of even with the ear and bring this straight down. Just draw a line there. And then use this to fill that in. And just kind of pull that line down, right? and feather it out. And then look at my schematic again, make sure I have good placement. Yeah. I can then use my sponge and blend that a little bit better. Kind of over blended that. Yeah, just kind of going back and forth between the two. I don't want to lose that line. Yeah, so you can see there's a shadow and there's without. So I'm going to do the highlight and shadow just on this half of my face so you can see the difference. So I'm going to start from right underneath the eyebrow, right here, and just go along the edge of that bridge, and then again feather it down. And then under the tip of the nose and feather it down. See? And then temple, I'm just going to go from the edge of the eyebrow here and go up towards the hairline there. Yeah. And I'm going to blend that a little bit. There we go. So for the forehead, I'm finding this little divot point and bringing it down there. Blending. And then finally the jawline. So straight down and right along the bottom edge of that jaw, just trying to accentuate the edge of the face there. And then underneath the lips, really push that forward and give more definition to the mouth. Okay, I'm going to switch brushes and go in with highlights. So the highlight goes right across the top, so kind of underneath the eye bag there, but across the top of the cheekbone there, and along the nose. And then I'm going to actually carry that up into the forehead. Chin. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to blend that. It's hard to do half the bridge of the nose. All right, so now hopefully you can see the difference. So this is without the highlight and shadow, and this is with it. So it's just really emphasizing that. So obviously, depending on the size of the stage you're working on, depending on the character that you're trying to play, depending on what you're trying to accentuate about your face, it's going to change where these highlights and shadows are placed. But this is the basic foundation of stage makeup. It's just playing with highlights and shadows and changing your face shape using highlights and shadows. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the other half, and then we will talk about makeup removal. Okay, so this is the highlights and shadows. I'm going to now powder. So you should have a powder puff and translucent powder in your kit. So open that up, put some powder on the puff. I usually fold it in half so that it spreads it a little bit nicer. It isn't just all piled up in the middle there, like that. And then press it. So this helps if you're sweating a lot on stage. If you're sweating a lot on stage, this helps to set your foundation. Because it's cream foundation and not liquid, it means that it won't dry, so you have to set it. If you are using liquid foundation or powdered foundation, you don't have to set it, but cream foundation you do have to set. So yeah, this also helps to blend it a little bit more, and you just get a little bit nicer look to the whole thing. Yeah. So at this point, you would add lips and eyes and cheeks and things like that. But for now, this is as far as we're gonna go with highlight and shadow. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. Looks good. All right. So now we're gonna take off the makeup and talk about that process. So we're gonna use Pond's Cold Cream. This is just the recommended sorry, distracted. The recommended way to take off stage makeup, because it is cream foundation and it's pretty thick, even when you do try to do thin layers. So rub it onto your skin like lotion. Make sure that you're getting it all the way down your neck where you put your foundation. And up into the forehead. And then I'm going to use just a regular Kleenex. And wipe it all off. At this point, if you wanted to use your own cleanser or anything, go for it. I usually use micellar water. So take a little bit, put it onto another fresh Kleenex. This is really great for getting off eye makeup, but also just any other little bits that might have been missed. So getting up into the hairline, ears, just make sure that you have everything. Yeah, there's still quite a bit on there. All right, and step 3 is going to be astringent. So that's the stuff. This is a step that you can skip if you have naturally dry skin and you don't want to dry it out further. However, I find that after using the cold cream, micellar water and stuff. My skin is still pretty oily. Make sure you don't get this in your eyes, but it also helps with cleansing it even further. Some people use witch hazel for this step, also an option. And now we finish as we started with lotion, just to make sure that your skin is nice and hydrated and not gonna get dry patches or anything. If your skin is already very oily and you don't want to use the lotion at the end, that's also fine. Do what works for you and your skin. Okay, I think we covered everything. Good luck.